Hey guys, Kyle over here at Edge Paintball, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install a trigger into your Mini GS. First thing we're going to do is take the actual Mini out of the box. The reason I have the box in frame here is because I will really recommend working inside of the actual top portion of the box. And the reason I say that is because it is nice and padded, it's nice and soft, and we are going to be using a hammer. So we do want to make sure we have some sort of nice padding in a sense on the actual desk. If you have a nice workbench to work on, lucky you, you are good to go. You don't have to worry too much about it. But for my guys here who might be doing this at mom's kitchen table or your kitchen table that you might have paid a lot of money for, let's not damage it and let's work inside the box here. So a couple tools you're going to need right off the bat. Of course, you're going to need a hammer. You're going to need your 5/64 Allen key, which is going to be the smallest Allen key that's going to come inside your actual kit. And then the other thing we're going to need, which a lot of people might not have, but if you do, you're going to need a punch. This is going to make life a lot easier in order to get the actual pin out. So one thing I will say is if you don't actually have a punch, I would stop, go to your local hardware store, Walmart, Target, Amazon, have these next day to you. Definitely get yourself a set of picks. A set of punches. This punch that we're using here is a 1/8 style punch. I'm not sure if I can get it to focus on the actual text here. You have to trust my word on this one here. It's a 1/8 punch, and it fits best for the actual pins on these minis. So the reason you need your actual Allen key is because what you want to do is you're going to want to remove all of the actual screws off the grip. The reason we need to do this is because we need to gain access to our trigger pin. So for some who may have changed this before and just need a little refresh on how to do it, you might know where that trigger pin is, but as soon as I pull this back, that silver dot there, that's going to be your trigger pin, guys. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to finish removing all of these grips and all the screws. And another cool thing I really like about the mini top foam in the box is it has those divots to make it a little bit more extra secure when shipping. But one great thing that they really do is they hold screws really well. So being that they're pocketed here, you can have like a little spot for all your actual screws. So I have a lot of customers who literally work just in the top of their box once they take the whole thing apart, because it's real hard to lose pieces and parts you might need going forward. So on the actual Mini itself, the trigger pin on one side is going to be serrated. So what that means is it's going to have almost like teeth kind of milled into the outside, so it grips well onto the actual aluminum of the frame. If you kind of see on this side, see if I can get it to actual focus for us. Let's see here. So if you kind of see on this side here how it has those actual ribs there, and then on the inside here, it's going to be a little bit more of a smoother style. So what you're going to want to do is you want to knock out the pin with the teeth going out of the actual gun itself. So most of the time on the minis, the teeth side of the actual pin here is going to be on the same side as your gauge. So what you're going to want to do is flip the marker over like this here with the gauge facing down. And this is going to be why I say work on something soft, because it is going to be hitting and you want to protect everything as well as your table, including your marker. So what you're going to want to do is put your actual punch here in that actual hole. You're going to want to grab your hammer and you're just going to want to gently hit that pin a few times. Some might take 2, some might take 5. All kind of depends on the guy swinging the hammer, truthfully. But once you actually have that pin out, you'll hear that audible kind of it fall all the way through. You flip the marker over and you'll notice the pin is all the way out. So from here, what I'll do, and it is snug, but pull that whole pin out so you can set that off to the side. And then from here, you could take your mini trigger and slide it just out like that there. So it might cause you a little bit of difficulty if it's ever kind of snugged in here like this here. One thing I will definitely say to check is if it ever is getting caught up. When it's actually in the marker itself, it's kind of hard to see, but there's going to be these screws that are going to be kind of right here. See if we can get this to focus again. There we go. All right, so the screw that's in the rear here, sometimes this is screwed in too much. It can actually cause it to catch on the back of the frame. So when it's actually in the marker here, you could stick this Allen key up through the back here, and then you'd want to turn this counterclockwise to make that screw go down. And that'll make it a lot easier to get it out. But once you actually have your trigger out, what I will do is you'll grab your upgraded trigger. So this one here is a fancy one. This one here is an HK Deuce style trigger. So this actually comes on the HK Hive Mini GS's. we're borrowing it right now to put it into one of these right here, the Mini GS itself, your standard one. So once you have your Mini and you have your upgraded trigger, whether it be a completely different style or it's a different color, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slide it back in just like you took the other one out. So you want to kind of start right here is what I'll do is I'll kind of go at an angle. This is the most room you'll have, and then you can slide it in, and then you can actually slide it up and ready to go. So if I were to say there was the one most difficult part of all of this, it's going to be go ahead and lining up the actual holes there on the bearings to the actual hole inside of here. So because once you put this in here, your line of sight disappears. But what I like to do is I will push this in until I kind of feel it hit like the side of the trigger almost, and then I'll flip it around. Because then from here, what I can do is I can actually get that hole to line up exactly how I need, and then I can push from the other side with my finger, and it will lock it right in place. So once you have that set there to its best ability of how it's going to be, you want to take your finger on the other side and push it right in, and then now it's all slid in perfect. So now that you have this here, you're going to want to make sure that that screw there, or that actual pin, I'm sorry, is set in. So that way when you're playing and you're walking the trigger, it doesn't walk that actual pin out. That would not be fun. I've seen it happen once, and as funny as it was to watch the trigger fall out of the gun, it wasn't as funny to watch him get pepped up because he no longer had the ability to shoot. So then once that pin is all locked in, your trigger is now in, you just want to go back on and put your grips back on. So pretty much you're just going to do the reverse of everything we did originally. But that right there, guys, is the fastest way I have personally found to install the trigger into your Mini GS. The most important things, of course, making sure there's no air in the gun, no paintballs in the gun when you first start off, and then making sure you have a nice padded base, or at least a workstation, a dedicated work area you can, you know, hammer on or do anything like that, just in case if we do swing and miss, you know, there's no accidents to be had. Definitely would not recommend doing this on a glass table for any of you out there who think that might be a good idea. Would not recommend. We are not liable for your glass table. But guys, that is going to be the trigger install of the Deuce trigger on the Mini GS. I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank y'all for stopping by to watch this video of the installation of the Mini GS, going from the standard trigger here to the Deuce trigger that's made by HK. I just wanted to say, if y'all can go ahead and give us a like, give us some comments maybe, subscribe if we've earned that, I would really appreciate that. But we love the comments, guys. We love the likes. That helps us more than you believe. If you guys need anything, you guys know where to find us, proedgepb.com. We carry everything from upgraded triggers to full-blown markers, setups, and all. So feel free to stop by the website. If y'all have any questions, drop them in the comments. Shoot us a call. Thank you, guys.